Hello and welcome to Sportspage. I am Brad Hadank. In this program, I will sit down with various University of Central Missouri athletes, coaches, and supporting staff. These individuals help make Mules and Jennies athletics a success. Today, Jennies Golf joins the show. This is Sportspage. Our first guest today is Jennies Golf head coach Chris Port. Coach Port is in his 14th season as head coach with the Jennies. He started the Jennies Golf program during the 2012-2013 school year and has been the head coach ever since. Last season, Coach Port led the Jennies to the national championship, finishing as runner-up. This fall, through 4 events, the Jennies have recorded 3 team victories. The leader of that squad joins us now. So, Coach Port, last school year, you joined us twice on the show, one of the only coaches to do that. So, welcome back to Sportspage.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I want to start with last season, the national championship, a historic finish, second in the nation, the best finish ever in program history. You've been the head coach this whole way. What did it mean to you to see that finish from a program that you built?
Well, I mean, it was special. I mean, the kids last year put in so much work, but what you don't realize is all the kids that came before that kind of helped push that rock up the hill. So while the kids last year get all the credit, and deservedly, there are a lot of kids that came before them that put us in the position to get where we got. So it's a cumulative effort over the last 14 years.
And you talk about that legacy. How do alumni stay involved in the Jennies Golf program?
Well, we keep them pretty involved. We do 2 or 3 events a year with the alumni. We're going to be doing something November 8th for the Pitt State game. The kids are going to get their rings from the national championship, and we've probably got, I think we've got 7 or 8 alums coming in. So, you know, there are 3 or 4 events a year where we get together with our alums.
Talk to me about the difference in postseason golf, especially as you get later in that national championship run. It turns into match play. What's the big difference for your team in match play versus stroke play?
Well, for us, we really didn't make it a difference. We've focused all year on going out and being the best version of yourself you could be that day. And even when we got into the match play portion, it wasn't about what everybody else was doing. Just go out and control what you can control and put up as good a score as you can shoot, and we'll see where we are at the end of the day. Well, as it turned out, we ended up all the way into the national championship.
Where you were ranked before that national championship run was 20th in the nation. Did you look at that number? Was that motivation? Do you just leave that to the side?
No, the rankings are kind of a mess anyway, because there is a statistical formula that nobody understands. Generally, I would tell you that teams in the Midwest are not given quite the strength of schedule that we probably should get, and it degrades our ranking a little bit. But rankings are a recruiting tool. They really have no bearing on what's going to happen when you go out and play.
And I want to talk about the end of that postseason run, the semifinal match against Flagler. Final was 3-2. Talk me through the emotions of that overall match.
You know, we had played so well, and the kids were so locked in that week that, you know, Flagler was 3 in the country, I think, when we played them. We came out really good. The match was tight through the front 9, and then the 9th hole at Boulder Creek was a very difficult hole, and we managed to, I think we got through that hole 2 over and picked up in like 3 matches against Flagler. And at that point, once those kids got in front, they never let it up, and they had closed every round on the back 9 at Boulder Creek really well, and we put them away on the back 9. I think Flagler thought they'd get back into it, and then there was a lot of emotion standing in the fairway as the last player came through, knowing that we were going to make that national championship.
Can you talk me through how the match play works in the national championship postseason? Because when I looked through the numbers, even if a player ended up 6 up, it looked like they finished the round. Can you tell me through?
Yeah, so they call it match play. It's really not. It is stroke play format with a match play scoring component. Every match is played to the end. If you shoot 72 and I shoot 73, you're going to win the match and get a point. It is not what you would traditionally think of as match play, where it's hole by hole. So, like I said, they call it match play, but it's not. It's a stroke play format with a little different scoring.
So entering the postseason as well, or earlier in that postseason round, you won the NCAA Division II Central Regional. First time the Jennies Golf program had won that. Was that a big boost into the national championship run?
No, I think for this group it was just checking another box. Really and truly, I think when we went into the postseason, their mindset, they were so locked in. The last tournament of the fall, they just got, or the spring, they got so locked in. They were locked in at conference. They just were locked in. They were checking boxes. Their goal at the start of the year was to get to match play. I don't think that their goal exceeded match play. They wanted to get to match play and then they'd see what happened. But no, there was no, they weren't riding an emotional high coming off of the regional event because they had other things on their mind at that point.
And you're talking about being locked in. One of your players who was Kiki Bruner, shot 66. That ties the UCM low round in Jennies golf. I was in the second round of the Central Regional. How important was Kiki during that round?
Oh, it was huge because our history had been struggling in round one at the regional. The 2 years prior to that, we kind of played ourselves out of the regional in round one. And because of weather coming in, we were going 36 holes on round one. Or day one. So I was obviously a little nervous when we got started, but about 5 holes in, they had taken control of the regional first round. And then the round Kiki put up on the second round was, I mean, I think she had 4 birdies and 14 pars. I mean, it was clean, flawless round. It was a huge boost to us. I think we shot 7 under in that round and really separated ourselves. I think after the second round, we had like a 12-shot lead. And at that point, I felt pretty good that nobody was going to be catching us on the third day.
And then another Jennies golfer who's found a lot of success recently is MIAA. She qualified for the U.S. Women's Amateur. How important is that when she finds one of your players has that much success, especially in the off-season?
Oh, it gets noticed. I mean, the kids on the recruiting trail absolutely know who she is. She's one of the best players in the Midwest, and that doesn't matter if you're Division I or Division II. You know, I think right now the rankings have her 4th in the country. So, and she's, I think if you go back to her junior year, she has a 17th place finish, a 13th place finish, an 11th place finish, and everything else in the last 2.5 years has been in the top 10. She's a machine.
And you're talking about the recruiting trail this season. You have 4 freshmen and 1 transfer, so 5 new players. It's a big difference from last season when you only had 6 on the roster. Talk me through that change.
This year has, you know, last year everybody knew who was playing in the top 5. It's pretty simple all year. And you know, the kids would tell you it's a much more relaxed environment. This year, Ansley Gieselman, who is a freshman, has been in the lineup every day. She's got a top 5 and 2 top 10s, so she's played fantastic. Maddie Coast transferred in from Henderson State, and you know, last year at Henderson she was about a 76 average. She's a 74 average right now, and has given us some really great golf. And then 2 of the other freshmen, Addie Davis and Hannah Moddert, they're starting to push. Addie went as an individual 2 tournaments ago. She played in the top 5 this last week. Right now in qualifying, Hannah's pushing to be in the top 5 for the last tournament of the fall. So there is a lot more competition in our qualifying, and you know, that's the pressure I want to create in practice so that the kids, when they get in the tournaments, don't feel as much pressure.
And how does that change things in practice, in the locker room, that pressure? You said you see it as a positive, but for the players, is that creating more of a positive environment as well?
Oh, they hate it, but they know it's a necessary process. They know that battling with their teammates every week in qualifying makes them stronger in tournaments, and at the end of the year, all those rounds battling each other will help them compete at the highest level in postseason.
And we've talked about some individual Jennies golf players, but as a team as a whole, what have you liked from this team thus far this fall?
You know, this team is good right now. You know, last year when we teed it up, I knew what we were going to get. We were going to be the best team in a tournament, or we were going to be one of the top 3 teams at every tournament. This year, there's been a little more variety. I mean, we've had a lot of good finishes this fall, but, you know, I'm confident in the kids every day. Sometimes I don't know that the kids are confident. And so, you know, this team is going to be good right now. We will get better as the season goes, and hopefully peaking again at the end of the season.
One of the tournaments for you this season was the Dallas Baptist Classic. That wasn't the best finish for your squad, but was that a change? You're going to Dallas Baptist, who was the national championship team that you faced. Is that in your mind at all this season when you head there? No,
new year. I mean, and I think the kids do a really good. The kids that have returned have done a good job of, you know, last year was great, but we kind of talked about it at the beginning of the season that, okay, this is the last time we're talking about that, and we're moving on from it. We've got other things that we got to do. And really, we played good at Dallas Baptist. I think we shot 294, 292, something like that both days. And it's a really good field. You know, we got beat by 2 or 3 teams that are ranked in the top 10 right now, and so we beat a couple top 10, top 15 teams down there. It's just a really strong field, and those are the kind of events you want to play in to get your teams ready for the postseason.
And your next tournament that's coming up is on Monday. It's the Tulsa Cup in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. What are you hoping to see out of your team? It's the last tournament of the fall before a couple months off. What are you hoping to see in that last tournament?
Just go be the best version of yourself as you can. I mean, we really don't put focus on our finishes. We put focus on how we play and what we're in control of.
And I want to ask you about that time between the fall and the spring, because after this tournament, Monday, Tuesday, you're off until mid-February. What happens during that time?
Well, we'll spend the month of they'll get a week off, and then in the month of November, we'll play 2 days a week. We'll go out and play 9 holes just to kind of keep them playing before the Thanksgiving break. Then from the Thanksgiving break until about the 12th of January, they're on their own. They're usually pretty good about doing what they need to do over that break and coming back ready to go, because we'll come back in on the 12th. We'll take a practice trip at the end of January where we go down to Oklahoma to get some qualifying rounds in. And then our first tournament is mid-February, and it'll be in Houston against a really strong field. So for us, you hope you get a little bit of a break with the weather and can get out and play some. Last year we did not have an opportunity to play really before we got to Houston, but still had a good result down there. So they will take a little time off after Thanksgiving, but most of them will be working at it all the way through, because when we come back in, if the weather's nice on the 12th, we'll probably be qualifying.
And the facility you get to practice at is Mules National Golf Club. You have a nice indoor. The course is obviously very nice. You have the Harbert Collegiate Golf Center out there. How important is it to have such a nice facility for your team?
Well, from a day-to-day standpoint, having the indoor facility for where we are geographically is a huge deal for us in the winter. Last year we lived in that thing all winter, but we have a great putting facility in there, so the kids can get good practice rolling the putter, and then we've got the ability to hit out on the back of the range, so we get an opportunity to hit plenty of balls to get as you're as good as you can be without being out on the course playing. So it's fantastic. And then, from a recruiting standpoint for us, I mean, we're chasing after, Division I caliber student athletes, and I don't know that it's a game changer for us, but the deal for us is that when they come into our facilities and they've been at Division I facilities, there's no change. So essentially for us, facilities isn't ever going to be an area where we lose a kid, because we've got as good a facilities as anybody in the Midwest.
And before we have to take a break, I try to ask this to every coach. If there's one thing you want our viewers to know about this Jennies golf program that may have not heard about this program before, what's one key takeaway you want them to know about this squad?
Well, these kids are really good players. I think that sometimes there is a caveat that, they're Division II players and they're lesser players, and that's not the case. I mean, MIAA could play at any Division I school she could. I mean, anyone would take her. We had a player transfer out last year that went to the University of Colorado. She's their #1 player this year. Our kids are as good as any Division I team.
Well, Coach Port, thank you for taking the time to join the show today.
Thank you.
We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to meet a Jennies golfer who's coming off of a top 10 finish at the Midwest Classic. Kiki Bruner joins us right after this. Welcome back to Sportspage. In this next segment, we will be joined by Jennies golf redshirt senior Kiki Bruner. Kiki is a native of Washington, Iowa. She was an all-state golf selection at Washington High School and has continued that success during her time here at UCM. Kiki has accumulated many top 10 finishes in her career, while also tying UCM's low 18-round record with a 4-under 66. That 66 score came in the second round of the 2025 NCAA Division II Central Regional. So Kiki, welcome to Sportspage.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
I want to begin by looking at that national championship runner-up finish last season. Best finish in program history for Jennies golf, and you were a major part of that team. You've been here for a few years, so what did it mean to you to see that second place finish during your time here?
Definitely meant a lot. Last year was just overall an incredible experience. The team really came together and everyone stepped up when it mattered the most. And I think what made us so successful was the trust that we had with each other, and also how much we wanted the team to success. And our previous players kind of have laid the path for last year and our finish, so we also wouldn't have accomplished what we did last year without them. And we had very intentional practices, and our goal was to bring out our A+ mental game every week and just play our best golf, and that would eventually give us the best results, and that's what we did. So it was definitely unforgettable, and it was very, very cool.
You mentioned the mental side of the game, and that is a huge aspect of golf. How do you personally work to improve that side of things?
So Coach Port actually has helped tremendously with me with my mental golf. He always says one shot at a time, and that's always a phrase that keeps playing in my mind when I play golf. Every time I feel like I'm rushing, when I'm getting nervous or stressed out because of a bad shot, I always just say, okay, one shot at a time. Just do what you can, and you only have control over your next shot, so just focus on that.
I want to ask you about your semifinal match in the national championship run. You finished officially 6 up. That's a huge win individually for Jennies Golf, and it paved the way for a 3-2 win over Flagler to advance to the national championship. Can you take me through just the overall emotions of that day? You made it to the national championship.
Honestly, I think I was pretty calm the whole day because of how the match play format was set up. It was basically stroke play, so I treated it like it was stroke play. I was really just focusing on my game and bring out my best golf game. So it wasn't really that, I don't know, nervous.
Yeah, earlier in the postseason, you carded at 66. That ties the UCM 18-hole low round record, and you did in the playoffs. How did you do that? How did you stay so calm and collected during the postseason? That has to bring some stressors.
Definitely, but like Port says, one shot at a time. Just do what you can, and you can't worry about what other people are doing because you have no control in their game whatsoever. The only thing you have in control is your own game, so that's what I tried to do, and it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, talking about that 66, what was golf-wise working for you that day?
Definitely hit a lot of greens. That's something as Jennies Golf we focus a lot on is, get your ball into play and then hit greens. And that's what I did. And the putts will eventually drop, and the putts did drop that week, so it was very good.
That 66, is that the lowest you've ever shot overall, or like in practice, have you ever gone lower?
That was the lowest.
In postseason, that's the lowest? Wow, that's impressive.
Thank you.
One of the other Jennies who shot a 66, we talked to her last season, was Libby Green. She had tied the record at the time right before our interview. Is there a little competition there? Do you want that 65 to get your teammate? I know you must be great friends.
Yes, we are. She's one of my best friends. You know what? There's no competition, and we're just incredibly happy for each other when we see someone play really well. But you know what? Maybe there should be a competition. Put something on the line.
Yeah, I want to talk about the group this season too. It was a very tight-knit group last year, 6 players. This season, a little more, up to 9. Has the dynamic changed at all, and how do you handle that change?
No, I don't think the dynamic has changed at all. The freshmen, we have 4 new freshmen this year, and they bring a lot of talent and fresh energy and enthusiasm, and they've blended really well with our returners. And we have a strong culture of hard work, and we always put the team first. And overall, just been really exciting, and I laugh every day at practice. I look forward to going to practice every day.
And before we talk about this season a little bit more, I want to ask you some personal golf questions. So this may be rapid fire, which how I ask questions, it may not be as rapid fire, but we'll see. So right now, your favorite club in the bag. What's the love to hit this club, or could be putter?
I never thought I would say this, but it's actually my putter right now. So
has that just been working lights out for you this season?
Yep, this season so far.
So could you take me through the overall bag? Do you have a lot of hybrids? Do you go low irons? What's the bag look like?
So I have my 2 wedges, and then 9 iron through 5 iron. Then I have my 4 hybrid, 3 hybrid, my 3 wood, and driver.
And then looking at the golf ball, what's the golf ball of choice for you?
Titleist Pro V1s.
Just the straight up Pro V1? It's always a good one. So we talked about this before we went on the air here, but what is your favorite course that you have gotten to play? Not Mules National. You can't pick a home course you've ever had.
Torrey Pines in San Diego.
And then talking about your golf game as well, the big thing that everyone wants to get is an ace, a hole-in-one. Have you accomplished the feat yet?
I actually have. I think it was my junior year, and it was the regional preview in Bartlesville, and it was a par 3. It was a little uphill. I think The yardage was 137. I couldn't really see my ball after I hit it, but I heard a parent or two like scream, and I was like, oh, I think that went in.
And how did it feel to get an ace then in a tournament? So you did it then in front of a bunch of people.
I think I was more in shock because I didn't really know how to process it at first, but then I was like, oh, okay, gotta move on. Still got a lot of holes left to play, so gotta stay composed and just calm down.
And then one more for you. This may be my favorite question. If you could remove one rule from the game of golf, what would it be?
Oh, remove?
Take away one rule or some penalty system, one rule you have to abide by.
I don't know, but I would add a rule where I think every golfer should get free relief if their ball ends up in a divot.
That is a good one. Yeah, I should change that to add or remove. So I want to get back to this team this season. 3 first-place finishes through 4 events. What's been working for this team this year?
Everyone, I think, is just focused on their own game, and we're good this year, but I don't think where we want to be quite yet. So we're still trying to mentally work on our mental game, and also everyone's looking forward to the off season, so we can all work on our swing a little bit too.
And individually this season, you're coming off a top 10 finish at the Midwest Classic that was at Mules National Golf Club. What was going well for you? Was it still the putter that was on fire?
Yes, my short game definitely has saved me a lot this season so far.
And I've been out to Mules National, and it's a pretty tight course, at least in my opinion. How do you handle that? I know that was a home tournament. I know you're probably familiar with the course, but how did that work out for you in that top 10 finish?
So for me, I try to treat it like it's not Mules. I'm just at another tournament, and I try to treat it like every other course where, okay, I gotta look at my yardage book. Okay, this is where I have to hit. This is what club. I just try not to treat it any different.
And coming up on Monday is the last tournament of the fall for this Jennies golf squad. Do you have any personal goals that you want to see come to life in that last tournament?
Not really. I would like to see my mental part of the game go to the next level. There's still some things I want to work on mentally, but I think this team has what it takes, and I'm just excited.
And then the time between the fall and the spring, you get a few months off. I know there's off-season things that are done. What do you do to stay prepared for the spring season?
That's during the off-season. That's when I start to tweak little things in my swing. So I'll probably be doing a lot of drills, and I already know there are some things I want to work on in my swing.
And I've talked a lot about the success of the Jennies golf program, especially last season, also this season with the 3 top finishes. You've been here for a few years and you've seen this program, you've experienced it for a few years. What is it about this program that you think makes it so successful?
Just this team. I know golf is an individual game, but this team has just such a strong culture of team first, and we are, these girls are some of my best friends, and we truly care about each other and we support each other, and it's just very special that we get to compete with your best friends every day, and we support each other no matter what.
And I want to ask you about your coaches. We've talked about Coach Port, also assistant coach Jessica Green. She was named the 2024-2025 Women's Golf Coaches Association Assistant Golf Coach of the Year. What does she mean to this program? Oh,
she's been a great addition to Jennies golf. I mean, she was an incredible college golfer as well, and she brings a lot of that experience on the table too, and she knows what it's like to be a college golfer, so she has that perspective, so she's just really great on the course.
So we've talked about the facilities, Mules National, we've talked about the coaches. From you come from Iowa. What was the main draw for you to UCM?
Definitely Coach Port, and obviously the facilities as well, because being a golfer, you want to have a place where you can practice in the winter, and Mules National we do have that. We have a great indoor facility with hitting bays and a putting green where we can putt and chip, and that's all thanks to our donors and the university as well. So that's definitely something that drew me to UCM.
And the Harbert Collegiate Golf Center is something that is new since your time coming to UCM. So you've seen pre-Harbert Collegiate Golf Center and post it being built. How much of a difference does that make?
Oh, just a huge difference. I mean, we use that center every single day. It's where we put our clubs, where our snacks and coach's office are there, and the team hang out there. So definitely a huge addition, and we're extremely grateful for our donors and the university.
Well, Kiki, we've run out of time, but thank you for joining the show today.
Thank you.
Well, that is all of the time we have for this episode of Sportspage. I'd like to thank our guests, Coach Chris Port and Kiki Bruner, for joining me today. My name is Brad Hadank, and thank you for watching Sportspage.